Hello, everyone, and welcome to week 2 of AVGL's Smite College League. Right now, we have Virginia Polytech versus JSU Esports. I am Bryce LPs, and with me, I have J Mac Tucker. How you doing, J Mac?
Doing good. Ready for another night of some AVGL Smite action. We're already underway for the picks and the bans. Our 4 bans to start off have been Thanatos, Sylvanas, Apollo, and Ratatosker. No surprise, honestly.
No, I mean, these are all standard gods that we've seen, in the Pro League or, in amateur tournaments. You look around, you're going to see these gods picked or banned. Serket, though, being the hover from Virginia Polytech right now, and it's actually going to go ahead and be locked in. One pick that I wasn't expecting.
A very early Serket, I would say. While she has become more of a strong god after her recent buff to do increased damage based off the number of poisons that you have, going from 10 to 15 and from 20 to 25%. Yeah, she's seen that damage increase. It's made her more viable. But so far, there's no healers that have been picked up. And normally you pick Serket as the anti-Hercules or the anti-Sylvanas. So it's very weird seeing it this early on. However, on the other side, we're seeing a god that has not really seen a lot of fruition, and that's been Bacchus.
And Odin as well. They're both going to be locked in? They're actually both going to be locked in.
Yeah.
Bacchus and Odin, we got the belly flop bird bomb combo. We have jumps for days leading to kills.
Gross.
And that's actually a really disgusting combo. Cage into Intoxicate. Meanwhile, Zeus and Geb are going to be picked up. So we have circles for days from both of these teams.
I'm not sure why they picked Zeus into Odin. Normally, you would pick Odin to Arachne?
Wait.
So what we have here is a bunch of gods with circles, and then you have a bug who has no circles except a circle on the ultimate. So, I mean, technically everybody's got some circles going on here, but as I was going on with, you don't normally pick a Zeus and a Geb even into an Odin. They have no way of getting out of the cage. Why would you pick gods who can't get out of the cage into the cage?
That's a good question. Maybe they're planning on bursting them down before they get bursted down. Meanwhile, bans coming out. JSU going to go ahead and get rid of Rama. And on the other side, Poseidon going to be taken away. 2 fairly strong picks. We've seen Poseidon starting to getting picked a little bit more. Hercules, he made it all the way this far. I didn't even realize that. Hercules, one of the most prominent solo laners, getting banned away as the last ban on the Chaos side.
Really no surprise there, as because they're banning away Hercules, that likely means that that's going to be Odin going the way in the jungle. Well, the solo lane, I'm sorry. Since Arachne was, I mean, I don't know. We've seen Arachne solo before. It's a crazy meta going on right now where really anything can happen and everything will happen. But this somewhat solidifies that it's going to be Odin. Taking the Zeus away means that the Hercules away means that Odin is going to have a little bit easier time in lane. Well, unfortunately, there are still gods like Tyr who do really well against Odin. There are gods like Osiris who do a pretty strong job against Odin, as he can use that passive to walk out of the cage. But at the moment, Ra is going to be the next selection for JSU, and that's just going to be who's inside the cage with Odin. Odin, please stay alive a little bit longer.
Yeah, I agree. Get some sustain in there. On her, going to go ahead and be locked in for Virginia over on the other side. And, honestly, there's not really that many hunters left. So on her, the strongest pick that I can think of right now, while Osiris is being hovered, but the immediate switch to Raven and locked.
Lane bullying. I mean, Raven is probably the epitome of the auto attack hunters for lane bullying. Bellona is one that we don't really see often anymore. She's kind of fallen out of favor, but Raven is still that I'm going to hit you with auto attacks. I'm going to lock you down. I'm going to push you under your tower for a while. I don't have the best early game, but I'm also better than Odin. Actually, Odin's going to have a fairly strong time, but the problem is as soon as he uses that bird bomb past level 5, maybe 6, Robin's going to be immediately able to turn on him and abuse him for jumping in. Meanwhile, last pickup was the Medusa going the way of JSU. And this is a team just to stay away from me.
Honestly. Medusa is going to be really hard to go against. Is on her too. Thinking about it, is on her. His wave clear is mostly just getting up to the wave and hitting his impale and clearing it. But whenever you're going up against Medusa, the god of lane pressure, you really can't just walk up to the lane or the wave like that.
Yeah, I mean it's ability-based hunters trying to stagnate the lane as quick as possible. I mean, this is just what they want to do. Is You clear away with abilities, I clear away with abilities. You want to poke me out, I want to poke you out. There's no built-in lifesteal amongst either of them. They don't have any kind of craziness like Neith would be able to sustain herself, wouldn't need to go into anything like Devo Glove. So we might be seeing the Transcendence build come out from both of these. This has been a very strong build as of lately amongst the Hunters, but we will see just how it goes as we make our way into the game here very shortly. We will be right back. It will be Virginia Polytech versus JSU.
This love that you never started, you once destroyed a broken heart that was already shattered. Holding on to what we have, you take us to the edge and back. Holding on to what we have, you take us to the edge and back. This love that you never started, you once destroyed a broken heart that was already shattered. Holding on to what we have, you take us to the edge and back. Holding on to what we have, you take us to the edge and back.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to week 2 of AVGL's Smite College League. And we are back with Virginia Polytech and JSU, or Jacksonville State University. I am Bryce L. Pease, and with me here, I have J. Mac Tucker.
Indeed, we're here for our first set of the day. As he said, Virginia Polytech, Jacksonville State. Virginia Polytech, not an unfamiliar team in our scene. They were here last season, piloted by their leader, Kraken KO. Returned with a couple of his teammates, and I think a few new ones as well, mostly over as the, I think the ADC is new. I don't think that they had Musk Duck last time, but I can't really 100% confirm that at the moment. But Kraken, Wolf, and Waffle, definitely I am seeing returning from. So we'll see how they perform this season. Just missed out on their chance last time, but who knows? They're in a different division with not quite the harshest of competition this time around.
Yeah, not as harsh as last season, you know, where everybody was a pro. But I just realized
Chief knockoffs like that was a hard division for them.
Yeah, I know. Like, I'm just saying, everybody to them was a pro. Meanwhile, over in the solo lane, Waffle is almost dead. One more auto attack might just finish him off, and we are going to get our first blood, immediately followed up by second blood. Robin gonna go ahead and pick up Night Flame.
Yeah, I mean, that's just, he might even be trying to pick up Iniquity here. Spiders are going to come out, but no Bluestone. Instead, it sets Death's Toll, so Iniquity is going to be able to get away from that one. Kara Snow showing that, you know, you can't kill my jungler. I'm going to kill your solo and then try and kill your jungler too.
Yeah, he was about it. He wasn't. Oh my goodness, he's gonna get it too.
He's gonna do it
into the tower, and he got his second kill of the game. He's tanking these creeps. He doesn't care. He's a Robin, and we are watching early pressure, the video game.
I mean, that's just why you pick up Robin, is you want to win the early stage of the game, even against a god like Zeus who excels early. Speaking of early, the unlikely duo of On Her Geb of all gods is going to pick up the first blood in the dual lane against the Medusa Bacchus.
Yeah, and even in the mid lane, there's even more pressure coming out, where Badman was forced to walk away from his mid lane wave from Kraken KO by himself. Now, we actually do see a little bit of pressure coming out from Waffle over here. He's taking these Ellies, and he was threatening to jump onto Night Flame again. Iniquity, though, is going to stop him from taking that last elemental and make sure that not too much experience is lost.
Meanwhile, over on the left-hand side, red buff was stolen away by Virginia Polytech, and now we're going to be able to secure these Oracle Harpies as well. So far, 3 of the 4 major buff camps on the top side have all been taken away by Virginia Polytech, and they still have the entire bottom side of their jungle as well as the purple buff on the top side.
Yeah, not to call it too early, not the game that is, but there are some pretty heavy hitter players right now showing from Virginia Polytech. You know, we saw a 1v2 solo kill. Or, yeah, 1v2 kill, rather, from Kara Snow onto the Arachne from the enemy jungler. Badman, meanwhile, in the mid lane, is going to be under that ultimate coming out from Kraken KO. Is going to take a lot of damage, but the detonate is not going to be enough to secure that kill.
Yeah, the heal wasn't what saved him there. Just early game Zeus doesn't quite have enough damage without those boots online just yet. In fact, not with any extra form of damage online, as he's picked up the Sands of Time and the Bumba's Mask. A telltale here of Season 4 is mid laners, and some solo laners are even picking up this Bumba's Mask, and the reason for it, I mean, it's just too good. Sometimes you got to clear those buff camps on your own, especially in the mid stage of the game. Walk back a little bit low in HP, well, just kill the back camp and you'll heal up just a bit.
Yeah, I mean, I dig it. It's only 500 gold too, so like,
yeah.
it's not anything like normal Bumba's, or old Bumba's Mask rather. Welcome to Season 4, son. We got 500 gold for a Bumba's Mask. But looking at these graphs real quick, you know, Virginia Polytech, they're on a little bit of an incline going right now. It's still early game, so, you know, it's not really that big of a deal, but JSU is really going to have to start picking up if they don't want this game to start snowballing really early.
Yeah, I mean, right now, the top of the net worth chart is obviously Kara Snow, as he's got 2 kills to his name. Shortly behind him is the opposing solo laner, but again, over in the dual lane, Musk Duck taking out another kill onto this Medusa, and we're starting to somewhat see the struggles of Medusa right now. Is against other strong clear hunters, she kind of struggles a little bit.
In the mid lane, though, Iniquity is going to get CC'd, knocked up, get ulted, and ulted by Waffle. He's very low. He did try to get that healing, but Waffle is going to end up securing that kill. Iniquity going to fall for the second time this game, and it looks like the jungle is going to be pressured in by Virginia Polytech. Badman, you're in a bad position right now, getting knocked up. Waffle getting the first auto attack, getting the taunt, and is going to pick up a second kill onto Badman.
Meanwhile, over in the solo lane, Night Flame is just trying to stay away from Karasno, forced to use that Raven Shield just so that way he didn't get poked out. Karasno still showing that he is the hard bully and the hard early game pressure of this lane. With more early pressure, the second rotation of the speed buff and blue buff look like they're going to be going the way of Virginia Polytech.
That's just adding insult to injury. You don't kill a jungler and then take a speed buff, man. That's rude. That's really rude. I'm just saying that from experience because I hate it.
Ooh, he looked like he was going to try and kill the solo laner there. Like, hey, I took your blue buff and I'm going to kill you. Like, that's real insult to injury.
Well, with Night Flame leveling up that bird bomb of his, he's going to be kind of hard to kill if he hasn't already jumped. He just pops that, gains about half of his HP or so back, and all of a sudden Karasno, you know, he just has to stop his aggression. Meanwhile, Karasno is going to be proxy farming this wave against two people in the solo lane. Iniquity is 4 levels under Karasno right now. Bird Bomb is going to come out. Karasno does have that ultimate, is going to jump over the wall, and is essentially home.
Well, for the moment here, Iniquity is wrapping around the side, but both of them are just going to miss out. But missing out in the mid lane, Batman might be missing some of that HP. Last breath has been popped. Forced to use that Aegis Amulet to try and run away, but auto attack plus a couple of poisons is going to chunk out Badman, and Sloth, you might want to walk away from this.
Well, he has his support there with him. He's going to try to pressure in, make sure that he doesn't lose, you know, too much, like his life. Meanwhile, Iniquity being jumped on in the mid lane, but Waffle is the one who has to get the Geb shield. Iniquity going to take a little bit more than half of his health right there. Not too much, but we have a huge rotation coming out from JSU into the mid lane.
Yeah, and at the same time, Night Flame trying to make the rotation onto Waffle. Waffle hasn't seen it and is going to get dunked on. Bird Bomb's going to secure that kill and put Night Flame at his second kill of the game. No rotation to follow up from Virginia Polytech to punish that one, so that's going to be a free kill for the solo laner.
Well, he kind of needed it at this point, too. He already had a kill from the early levels where he did pick up the kill on Waffle. He just picked up a second one, but he has been slowly falling behind Karasno, who is 2 levels ahead of him right now. And as Odin, if you fall behind, you're essentially a bird bomb machine. You do nothing else at that point.
Yeah. At the moment, we're almost 7 minutes into the game at this point, and we're already 4,700 gold down from Jacksonville State. Virginia Polytech as well, 6,100 experience in the lead. And as you said, that's the most evident in the solo laners, but it's also in the hunters. A 3-level deficit between Musk and Sloth. And right now, they're aggressing back into him. Impale is going to be good on to Trey 50 Daniel, but they're going to be able to walk away from that one for now.
The pressure coming out all around the map is kind of insane. Meanwhile, actually in the jungle solo lane area, Night Flame is going to pop that bird bomb, but Waffle is going to say, no thank you, this is my kill, getting that revenge kill onto the Odin just to make sure, like, hey, you're not above me. I am still here, I am still able to kill you, you are not allowed to move up or anything.
I mean, you're not even allowed to go for your own buff. Once again, another rotation towards this top side buff. Waffle and Karasno. Iniquity taking almost half his HP just from 2 abilities. Mustdust getting another kill onto Sloth. And Waffle and Karasno are smelling blood. They want Iniquity. Madness is going to confirm. And Karasno is going to jump over and get the final shot onto him. Once again, speed buff going to Virginia Polytech and the blue buff shortly to follow.
Usually, whenever I'm playing with somebody and they start chasing a kill, I say, hey man, back off, we don't need that. You're gonna die, you're gonna get baited. But whenever Karasno and Waffle were running through the jungle right there, I did not have anything similar to that feeling. I knew that they were going to get that kill as soon as they turned and started booking it. That was
look at who the 2 of them are. If it was any other jungler, and probably any other soul laner, I would have said back off of that one. But this is a Serket and a Robin. They have some of the strongest chase potential. Speaking of potential,
wow.
Mustdusk. 4th kill of the game onto his opposing ADC, sitting 4 levels above the competition, just about to proc into his 5th level ahead. I mean, Sloth is just struggling right now, is likely not going to be able to go into this Transcendence build that we're so used to seeing.
Yeah, he's kind of getting killed too much to efficiently build up his Transcendence. Meanwhile, Muskduck is going to just sit there and accept that Trey 50 Daniel was walking around. Meanwhile, Karasno is going to pick up Iniquity in a 2v1 situation, it looked like, over in the solo lane.
Yeah, Muskdusk was able to secure that red buff for himself. And Trey Daniel, very smart just to walk away from that one. I'm pretty sure a Musk could have killed him at that point if he had wanted to and tried to engage. So smart of him to walk away. And so tell me where Kara Snow is.
He's behind the tier 2, and he is going to fight. Kara Snow is fighting Iniquity at almost the Phoenix, but he is very low. I don't think he can do this. He does have the get shield, though, and we are going to have Iniquity be ulting. Kara Snow's shield has fallen off, but the med bait! Iniquity is still here, but we have the rotation coming out from Night Flame. The cage is here as well, but actually looks like Raw is just sitting in the base. Kara Snow is going to fall. Iniquity is not going to be punished for this, and now Wolf is the one who was in a bad spot. You just got baited. The double ultimate is going to come out, though, with Kraken. KO is here. He is going to have that detonate and pick up a double kill.
And Waffle.
What?
Waffle picks up a double kill over in the dual lane as they take out Trey 50 Daniel and his Hunter player Sloth. 5th death of the game for that Medusa at only 10 minutes. And looking at the charts, it is a very, very quick downhill slope for Jacksonville State. 8,800 gold ahead is Virginia Polytech and 12,500 experience. This is a very rough game 1 for Jacksonville.
The highest GPM that anybody on Jacksonville has is under 400, 370. The lowest that anybody on Virginia has is 450. And that's the support. Whenever the support has a higher GPM than your solo laner, at this point it might be time to start thinking about next game. But did you see what just happened in the mid lane? Did you see who just hopped over in the mid lane?
Musk. He doesn't care. I mean, look at who's right next to him. His support player, Wolf. If there was any danger, all he has to do is throw that Geb shield onto him, and that's going to be the end of that one. Speaking of the end of that one, I don't think Jacksonville's ever going to get a topside buff again. Especially over on the right-hand side, I don't think it's ever going to happen. Speaking of never going to happen, Night Flame, you're never going to be left alone.
Oh!
Nothing's ever going to happen to you. Kraken KO's going to get a kill over in the mid lane on the bad man, and Night Flame, who had thought he had gotten out for the time being, is going to actually be able to walk away. They're not going to, surprisingly, not going to chase into this one.
Wolf, though, is going to come up from behind him. He is here. He has the shield. He misses the knockup because the jump is good, but this is Waffle with a speed buff, and he is going to chase into 4 people. He opts to finally walk away. Wolf is there, is going to say, hey, man, it's time to chill. We have the lead. We don't need to be throwing it away like this, but we already have a tier 2 tower being pressured, more than likely going to fall in the mid lane. Wolf is aggressing super hard. Iniquity is going to accept that ult from Kraken KO, and Trey 50 Daniel is going to get super low as well.
Yep, Kraken just able to walk forward because of the support that was there from Wolf, and because the tier 2 tower was pretty much already done, had no fear of being able to move in there. Speaking of tier 2 towers, tier 2 in the solo lane, the last tower on the map for Jacksonville is going to fall. Wolf and Kraken going to slowly but surely take that one down, and that is all of the available free gold on the map, aside from the Gold Fury, which nobody's gone for. The Oracle Harpies really haven't been touched, and really only the Portal Demons available at the time being. I mean, I don't think they're going to go for a 13-minute fire jump.
Well, it's possible, but 5 members are being held back by 2 members of Virginia Polytech, but we do have aggression coming out. Muskduck is sitting inside this cage saying, I'm not trapped in here with you, you're trapped in here with me, and immediately everybody on Jacksonville says, okay, I'm out, sorry, bye.
I mean, it's a 6-level lead. Arachne walked up and was just like, oh, wait, that's the on her. I'm just going to walk away from that one. Phoenix still under pressure here as Virginia Polytech is not backing up, and the rest of the team is going over to this Gold Fury to try and secure themselves a little bit more gold. 16,000 at the moment in favor of Virginia Polytech, and it's about to add another, I don't think it's quite 1,500 just yet, but actually, yeah, I believe it is now. 1,500 more gold, making it 17,400 gold in favor of Virginia Polytech, and we're only 14 minutes into the game.
The entire jungle, from Jacksonville's back camps and beyond, is controlled by Virginia Polytech. And if Virginia Polytech opted to say, hey, this part of the jungle is mine, I doubt there's anything Jacksonville could do to stop them. Their team fight right now isn't strong. Their level deficit is immense. The gold difference is incredible. And Jacksonville really needs to start looking at what else they can do in this game too. What do you think that they need to do to be able to come back from something like this?
I would say probably do not pick up the Arachne. That was a very questionable pick. I can see somewhat what they were going for on it, but it's just not working out for them. It's not doing anything. She's falling too far behind, and in fact is barely going to get away with, how much HP is that? That was 18 HP that Arachne got out there. But the Arachne pick is not working out. The Odin pick really isn't doing anything for them either. I had to go into Nemean line because of how often he's just being chased down by the opposing solo and jungler. I mean, they just need a stronger pick into their next game, as Fire Giant does go the way of Virginia Polytech with basically no contention there. They picked the Portal Demon. It's like, oh, hey, we're high enough. Let's just go ahead and take this.
There were 1 to 2 people at a time that were holding off the entire enemy team of Jacksonville from Virginia. They were just saying, hey, this is our Fire Giant, you're not allowed to take it. Meanwhile, over in the dual lane, Sloth is going to be jumped on by Waffle, and that was a very quick 100-0. But the middle Phoenix is going to be contested here. There's nothing you can do.
It's okay, it wasn't Susanoo, so it wouldn't have happened then.
You're right.
But back into the mid lane skirmish here, the Phoenix is... Oh, I thought the Phoenix was the target, but instead, Waffle's going to target out 2 members of the enemy team, taking out the jungler and the solo laner, while Karis is going to finish off the mid laner. Only one alive is the support, Trey 50 Daniel, and he's not going to be able to save this Phoenix.
You know, if you're going to try to take all the Phoenixes, you might as well confirm that there's nobody there to stop you by taking out the rest of the enemy team. Waffle is going to be throwing Sloth out of his... Oh my goodness, he just threw him out of his fountain. He can't heal. Kraken KO is on a rampage now. The Titan is at 25% HP, and there's nothing that Jacksonville can do to stop Virginia from taking this game. Game 1 goes to Virginia Polytech.
25-3 in a very commanding 16-minute victory, as well as 22,000 gold advantage for Virginia Polytech. A commanding and dominating performance, to say the least.
Well, saying the least is exactly my thoughts. That was just a very strong game for Virginia Polytech. You know, we have names from them that we know, and we've seen them before, and it's expected for them to perform well, but Jacksonville, they do have the ability. We've seen Nightflame. He was able to pick up a kill onto Waffle a couple times, and there's definitely a chance for Jacksonville to get back in this, but they need to do better in their draft phase. It just wasn't nearly as good as Virginia Polytech did.
No, their drafting phase was much weaker, and while we had some questionable pickups for Virginia Polytech, like Zeus into Odin, Geb into Odin, and even Circuit when there were, at the time, no healers, it was very questionable how their draft phase was going to go, but Jacksonville also made the mistake of picking up that Raw into Circuit, which doesn't really do anything for you. I mean, Raw just had no pressure. He only had 1,300 healing. In fact, the enemy support, Virginia's support, Geb, had almost the exact same amount of healing just through meditations alone.
That's when you know you don't need to pick a healer. That's a rough point right there. And you know, even then in the matchup between Unher and Medusa, well, it's not too hard of a matchup for either of them. There's still a chance for both. I think Sloth might need to have a little bit more protection, have his support there for a little bit longer to make sure he can build up the levels and the experience needed to keep up with Muskduck. But with that, we're going to go ahead and cut into a short break before we get into Game 2 of Virginia Polytech versus Jacksonville State University. So stick around and find out what happens.
it's just like, man, you got to have that time where you just like disconnect from the scene, just the race. Like, and it's a race that I've created in my head, you know? But you have to step away from it.
Floating through the clouds, a light emerges from beneath the sand. The instant it miracles seem so far away. Across this universe, she lives another day. I know the reason she's hate. I know the reason she's so far away. I know the reason she's hate. I know the reason she's so far away. Nickel, how could we run from everything we have done? It only takes us one more step to fall. Nickel, how could we run from everything we have done? It only takes us one more step. Nickel, how I know the reason she's hate. Nickel, how I know the reason she's so far away. Nickel, how I know the reason she's hate. Nickel, how I know the reason she's
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Game 2 of Virginia Polytech versus JSU, Jacksonville State University. I am Bryce L.P.'s, and with me here, I still have J-Mac Tucker.
I mean, I'm going to be here for a while. You are too, I heard.
Oh, man, not again.
Oh, I know. It's just like another week with us. We're always just stuck talking to each other.
These bands look pretty familiar.
Yeah, I would say they are what we call the salty NA runback, except in this instance, Ymir was a first pick on the side of Jacksonville. Likely going to Trey 50 Daniel. Didn't like that Bacchus last time around. Didn't really do too much for him. So they're going to go with the Frost Giant himself. And on the opposite side, not Ja. I know you're excited.
I'm down. Well, all right. So I'm excited if he does well with Naja. If I don't know. This isn't going to go to Karis, no, right? This is going to Waffle? I assume this is going to Waffle unless he's pulling out the Naja solo.
I mean, you never know.
Please do it. Because, I mean, I am a big supporter of Naja solo. But meanwhile, Amuzan Cobb is going to be the second pick. I mean, technically the first pick. He was above Naja. But he's actually going to be the next pick coming in for Virginia Polytech.
I can't even say that this is trolling anymore because Amuzan Cobb has actually seen some competitive viability of this last season, has a lot of early game damage, and is one of the, if not the best, late game boxers in the entire game, especially when he's under the effect of the Hive gets increased movement speed and attack speed, makes it very dominant for him. Speaking of dominant, on the other side, the Goddess of Victory, Nike, has been picked up, hoping to rally her team to victory alongside the god Thor.
Is this season 3?
No, it's actually season 7 right now.
Oh, well, they must have buffed Nike at some point because I can't imagine why Jacksonville would actually pick Nike. Meanwhile, Ares
Yeah, Ares
is going to be picked up.
I mean, the god of no mobility, Ymir. The god
True.
of I use my jump to initiate Nike, and the god of I use my teleport to do things, or use my hammer to teleport away and do things, Thor. So this is
It's a very specific title.
Yeah, I use my hammer to get away things Thor. That's his official god title, by the way. It's the god of use my hammer to get away from things.
Wow. Meanwhile, Kazubert is going to go ahead and be banned away alongside Zeus and Medusa. Medusa, actually, that's an interesting ban. I'm not sure why the Medusa is being banned away because, as we saw last time, Sloth, he wasn't doing that well on Medusa.
Just a general ban more than anything. Seeing if Sloth has anything else up his alley, seeing what other gods he may be able to play as. Last time Apollo and Rom were taken away. Now they might be seeing if, hey, do you got a Rom, buddy? If you don't got a Rom, then, well, let's see what else that you got here. Final ban is going to be the Giannis taken away from the mid laner Kraken. No surprise, honestly. Giannis is still one of the strongest mages in the entire game.
Yeah, even if he's going to be nerfed, he's still fairly strong. And Heron, that's an Anubis going to be picked up. All right, so you said you didn't want to call Troll on the Yamu Zenka, but there's the Ares, there's the Anubis. Maybe Virginia Polytech just really looks up to Eager.
I mean, it's possible. Plus, there's the new Tier 5 Anubis skin that was released last season. So, I mean, you gotta get some use out of it somewhere. And you know, the new item, Book of the Dead, works really well with Anubis. That extra life steal, giving him a health shield. So, you know, Anubis isn't really kind of an out there off weird pick. It's definitely strange when there's a lot of other gods available, but Giannis, the Gazoo Bird, and Zeus all taken off the table. Pretty much the top 3 mid laners for the time being. Maybe just trying to see what he can do with this Anubis this game.
There's potential. Meanwhile, Chunga, Cupid, the picks for Jacksonville, and the last pick on the side of Virginia is going to be Osiris. This time, we're not going to see a Raven. We're going to see the same exact god, except green, Osiris.
Yeah, I mean, Osiris, and again, another early game bully, much like the Raven, going to be able to just kind of dominate the early stage of the game, especially with those AoE sickle strikes on, or those cleave auto attacks. I think that's the better way to say it, is those cleave autos on the third and fourth hit of his chain. Going to give him a lot of sustain in the lane versus the Nike, who does have the HP 5 built into her kit. When she gets that first point in, she's able to somewhat sustain herself there. But we'll see how well it does against Osiris, who does have the anti-no healing more than anything, not just anti-healing, like no heal on that ultimate. We'll see how successful he is going into this next game, and we'll see if Virginia Polytech are going to take away the 2-0, or will Jacksonville be able to pull out a game and take this to game 3. We will find out very shortly, so stick around. We'll be back for game 2.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Game 2 of Virginia Poly versus JSU Jacksonville. And immediately, Iniquity is going to be taking over half of his health and popping a health pot just to try to get away. And I am Bryce LPs. With me, I have J-Mac.
Yeah, unfortunate for Iniquity, forced to use a health potion very early as a potential invade was coming out from Virginia Polytechnic there. Jacksonville not in the best situations here, as Osiris Naja is a very strong early comp. Waffle, however, taking a pretty strong chunk of damage. Last time he was the one to he was one of the ones to fall, and right now Karasno getting very low. Iniquity also getting forced to use that sanctuary as the bluestone ticks were going down there from the jungler on that Naja.
That was a clutch Aegis right there, but unfortunately, even with that, you're not gonna be. Don't go into that jungle, Iniquity. Go back to your tower.
Go back to lane.
Go back to your tower. All right, they're gonna be heading to the enemy's jungle. Actually, they may have been spotted out. This is a very dangerous call because immediately see Virginia Polytech is following up from behind. Two of the small creeps are going to fall, but Iniquity is too low. Iniquity is going to fall here. The first kill goes to Waffle. The second kill goes to Karasno, and that means that solo lane is not necessarily dead in the water, but he's gonna be feeling it until this late game.
That's going to be a very harsh start for the solo laner and the jungler, as they're not getting their buffs on the bottom side, and they're forced to use that teleport glyph very early. Night Flame going to be at a bit of a detriment for a little while, as both his both the opposers have hit level 3, going for that speed buff, have already taken the blue buff, and they still have their buff on the top sides to take.
Even in the mid lane, Kraken KO has put off enough pressure as Anubis to be able to steal this red buff, but it looks like we do have the rotation, and Badman has picked it up. He is going to confirm that, but Wolf has blinked in. He got 3 chains. Badman is slowed. He's getting burned. He popped the bees, but he is very low. Karasno going to pick up a solo kill. Actually, not a solo kill. He's just going to pick up another kill. I didn't see that there was a jungler over there.
Right now, Iniquity teleports into the jungle and is not able to pick up Wolf just yet. In fact, is going to be turned back on as Kraken KO made his rotation into that team fight. A very good attempt by Iniquity, but missed off on just one too many shots of that Berserker's Barrage.
You know, Iniquity totally could have gotten that kill on Wolf if he turned around soon enough and he was able to actually get a couple auto attacks in. He may have been able to pick up that kill. But let's take a look over at this duo lane. There are still 2 people over here as compared to just Musk Duck, who isn't even pressuring in right now. He's sitting there saying, hey, I'm gonna, zone you out of your wave. I have superior clear, so if I need to, I can just clear the wave at any point, because Cupid has a big problem with clearing the wave. Heart Bomb is going to connect, but not much else is going to come off just besides that little stun right there.
Kind of one of the downsides of Cupid, his main form of wave clear is that Heart Bomb, and if Mustduck actually tanks that shot forward, he can take the Heart Bomb away from the wave to where he doesn't do anything. Meanwhile, mid lane, 3-man rotation onto Iniquity, once again getting shut down. Anubis ultimate used in that fight. Not going well very early for this Jacksonville team.
Well, it's starting to look like a little bit of the same. Virginia Polytech is going to just start getting slowly and very fast. They are going to get ahead, and Jacksonville is going to have no answer for it. Because Virginia, they're just saying, well, we can find picks. We know what to do. You're not expecting us to be in the jungle like Wolf is in the mid lane right now. He's going to miss that chain. He's not going to be able to secure the kill onto Badman. But Virginia is just sitting here in the jungle of Jacksonville, and they don't have anything about it. They're just sitting there saying, I'm sorry, I'm leaving. You can have my jungle. Goodbye.
If that sash connected, that would have been a dead Iniquity. Only level 3, and used his hammer to try and secure that blue buff. Did not work out. Speaking of not working out, Wolf able to pick up Badman in the mid lane. His first death of the game, but the 7th death for the team right now. Virginia Polytechnic up 3,500 gold, 4,100 experience, and this is a very rough early game for them.
Yeah, they're having just a little bit of a rough time, as even Kraken KO on an Anubis is able to chase out a Thor. That's not really something you're used to seeing. You see a Thor, you see an Anubis, you're like, all right, well, Thor's probably going to win this match. But whenever it's Virginia and they have an Anubis, apparently Iniquity does not have an answer. But it looks like Iniquity, he's actually going to get a speed buff. He's gonna get a speed buff. Let's go.
Matter of fact, the first speed buff of 2 games is finally going to go the way of Jacksonville. I think at this point, Iniquity's just happy he was able to even see his own buff.
Yeah, that's fair. But the red buff, on the other hand, is going to be a completely different story with 2 people rotating over to it. Virginia is going to pick it up, and Kraken KO is making his way over. They're actually trying to see if they can pick up a kill in this dual lane. They don't know that there are 2 people behind them. Trey 50 Daniel being chased down with the flames. Wolf is just barely going to make it out, and there's nobody chasing him. He's just going to back, but Iniquity landed on him out of nowhere.
Yep, Iniquity was up in the air for that fight to see if he was going to be able to pick up anything from it, but...
J-Mac, where's Karasno?
What is Karasno doing? He's not even in the right lane.
He proxied the wave.
Yeah, he proxied the solo wave, and is now trying to proxy the mid wave. But Iniquity's here, may not let him do... Okay, never mind. Iniquity is probably not going to be able to do anything here. Karasno is sitting in between the Phoenix and the tier 2 in not even his own lane. Badman making the rotation in, trying to do something here, but Karasno is 2v1ing, just wants the wave, doesn't care about anything else, is going to stun Badman, walk away. That brute minion there, but here's Night Flame.
Night Flame is going to be there, but we are going to have the ultimate come out from Karasno. Iniquity is throwing out that Berserker's Barrage, and the kill is going to be picked up. Iniquity is not going to fall from the Anubis ult. Night Flame is running away from Wolf and Kraken KO, and Wolf is going to get the first chain. Second chain is going to miss, but the ultimate coming out from Wolf. There is no other follow-up. Kraken KO is left. Night Flame is going to jump towards him, though, as the Portal Demon has been started. Kraken KO with no mana is going to try to chase, but I expect Night Flame is going to get out of this. There's no way Wolf's going to catch him.
Okay, chain missed. I think Night Flame may be out. Badman is going to try and poke Wolf a little bit, but the flames are out. The reinforced greaves are good enough to keep him alive for the time being. Great 3 shots is going to keep him, and Iniquity showing up is going to spell possibly the disaster and the death for Wolf. Berserker's Barrage, chunk of Wolf on top, and Night Flame going to jump on top of him and say, please get out of my lane.
If there's one word that could mean the saving grace of Jacksonville right now, it's overzealous. Everybody on Virginia Polytech is saying, you know what? We can go and do whatever we want. We can go wherever we want. We can go to whatever lane and fight anybody, and we can't die. And a lesson has been learned by Karasno and Wolf that whenever they go and they try to fight 4 people on Jacksonville, they are going to get killed. Simple as that.
Badman might be the one to be killed next. Actually, Mustuk gonna pick that up first in the air on that Najah, but a great heal by Badman is going to keep him alive just
Karasno picking up the kill onto Iniquity in a 2v1 situation, and Night Flame is going to get stunned here. The jump is good, meaning, I mean, Karasno, he still got a kill, but the blue buff and the speed buff are going to be taken now.
Well, you had your one chance at the speed buff, you got it, but now your speed buffs belong to us. Virginia Polytechnic picks up their second speed buff this game, and their I don't know how many speed buffs. Ultimate Lord of the Afterlife used by Karasno, but it's not going to do anything for it, as Night Flame is going to be able to just go ahead and back to base.
Meanwhile, Virginia Polytech has already secured the Gold Fury. They decided to walk up and get the Gold Fury. Meanwhile, Badman is going to fall to Kraken KO. Wolf got so low, he experienced the dances of Chonga and said, you know what, I'm good. Kraken KO hit the wrap, he hit the 3, and the ultimate Death Gaze is going to come out. The mid Harpies are also going to be confirmed, and Virginia Polytech, 11 kills to 3. Maybe Jacksonville can get one more than they did last game. One more kill, you got this.
Maybe they can hold the death deficit just a little bit. They're doing better than they were last time. It was 25-3. We'll see if they can maybe keep that a little bit under, as Mustduck gonna put as much damage as he can into Trey 50. Daniel is gonna go ahead and go under the tower, pick up that stinger, and Trey's gonna walk away with by the skin of his teeth. Meanwhile,
the solo lane jungle, we do have a huge use of the ultimates right now. Wolf is going to get very low, but first he's going to pick up the kill. Night Flame, though, is going to get the counter kill. Night Flame, though, being chased out. Karasno, I don't see him getting away from this, but the sickle misses. Kraken KO gets one auto attack, and the snipe ultimate coming out from Waffle is going to secure the kill. Actually, Karasno is going to get the kill onto Iniquity right there, but Jacksonville, 4 kills. One more than they got last game.
I mean, we in there, boys. we are in there. 2 kills going the way of the solo laner and jungler, both for Jacksonville. Showing a little bit stronger performance this game, but unfortunately at the moment they're still a little too far behind. Need to start being, well, I can't even really say they need to be more careful because Virginia Polytech is walking to their Phoenix at 8 minutes and just proxy farming because, you know what, why not? Right now, 8,700 gold in the lead is Virginia Polytech, as well as 11,000 experience. And right now, once again, that's mostly in the junglers.
At this point, I'd like to call this, for Jacksonville, a learning experience. Now, usually, whenever you're in game 1, you're about to lose. You understand that, you know, you're about to lose. Let's get ready to go for next game. But this game has not been successful. There have been a huge amount of problems coming out from Jacksonville in terms of positioning and actual team fight and solo potential. But at this point, Jacksonville needs to take some notes and understand what it is that Virginia Polytech is doing that's allowing them to win the games. Whether it's picks, it's play style, they need to understand that this is a learning experience and they need to take the time to learn from it.
Snow very low, forced to use that meditation. Is going to get slowed by Night Flame's ultimate. Dunked down by Iniquity. He's going to be able to pick up one. Meanwhile, Waffle is able to chase out and pick one up of his own. Kraken KO gets a kill in the mid lane. Waffle gets jumped onto, and he himself may fall here. First shot, second shot's not going to miss. The heal from Waffle, plus the shield of regrowth, and the chain, the bounce is going to keep him alive. Waffle turns around a 2v1, picks up one for himself, and Musk is trying to pick up the other one, but is taking too many tower shots. Finally is going to pick up Night Flame, but barely gets out of that one alive himself.
Jacksonville, they got their cake, they got a kill. They were like, all right, let's do this. We got Snow, the person who's the farthest ahead on the enemy team. Unfortunately, Virginia, they took it back and they decided to eat the cake themselves, turning around a pretty scary 2v1 situation onto Waffle with a great rotation coming out from Mustuck.
Yeah, Mustuck coming all the way over from the dual lane to get that kill. Waffle staying alive, utilizing that shield of regrowth, an item that we have seen a lot more of in this season thanks to the cooldown reduction that it's given and the extra stats that have been thrown on top of it, as well as its cost efficiency. No longer this luxury item is actually just kind of a staple item for anybody who has built-in healing at this point. Speaking of built-in healing, Badman is being forced under his tower. Waffle's going to get the sash onto Sloth, as well as a full ring bounce, and Waffle's going to be able to pick it up with a nice crit, but Badman gonna take that kill away from the Heart Bomb and pick up Waffle.
Waffle, he already used his ultimate. He didn't have anything to go off of. Badman is going to get hit by the chain, but the stun coming out is going to prevent the second chain from hitting Badman. But Snow is just walking over to the Phoenix yet again, probably for the 5th time in this game. Last time he got killed for it, but this time he has Wolf, he has Kraken KO, and Night Flame is essentially trapped in his own tower.
Yeah, I mean, there's nowhere for him to go. His teammates are coming around the backside. Wolf taking a lot of damage from the tower. One more good shot ought to take him out here. Kraken using that ultimate.
Ooh!
Drops down, picks up one, and Kraken himself may fall here. Auto is going to secure the kill. Sloth takes down Kraken, but they're met by the force of Snow. Mezzed out by the Cupid ultimate, but it's not going to matter. He is going to continue this fight.
Snow going on a rampage, picks up the kill onto Badman and is not going to stop this chase. He's going to avoid some damage, get this creep wave, wait for it to move in, and he's forced out the rotation from the support over on Jacksonville. Trey 50 Daniel gonna have to come over to make sure that Sloth doesn't die, but the left side Phoenix is being pressured in by Mustuck.
Yeah, Iniquity is the only one here at the moment. Night Flame showing face over on this side. It's going to force the level 16 Amusenkop to walk away from this one, as well as Sloth's rotation. But Sloth's rotation is actually going to cost him his life. Muskduck with the ultimate is going to be able to take him down. Stinger hits very hard.
I didn't even get to see how hard that was, as Waffle is going to blink, miss. The waxing moon under the tower is going to miss, and Waffle, that was just an awkward situation, man. You shouldn't have done that.
It was just disbelief from both the players. They both just kind of sat there like, what? Waffle going to get the ring bounce kill onto the back Harpy camp and start 2v1ing the support. And the soldier is going to pick up Trey 50 Daniel, but is disarmed for the moment thanks to that third shot from Nike's.
Oh, no.
Going to try and continue this now. What was a 2v1 back into another 2v1. Ultimate forced out. The Sentinel of Zeus is good to keep Night Flame alive for the time being and get Waffle out, but I can't say the same for Batman.
Unfortunately, Kraken KO is going to pick up the kill, but we do have Iniquity going into the sky, seeing if he can land on anybody, and he is actually going to land over onto the left side, see if he can get Waffle, but the Aegis is forced out, the chains are there, the cripple is good, so the hammer is going to not be successful. Iniquity going to fall. Sloth, unfortunately, not going to be able to help his teammate, and at this point, Jacksonville is coming at Polytech in waves. There's nothing that they can really do if they don't decide to group up and maybe get some more picks like they were doing earlier. They're at 8 kills, which is unexpected to say the least whenever we were watching the beginning of this game.
Yeah, they're doing a little bit better this game, and that's just because their picks have been a little bit sloth. Goodbye.
That was a little rough. Kraken KO, wrap, grasping hands, death gaze, and that's the Anubis combo. You're dead. Sorry, there was nothing. Your purification beads were down. There's nothing you could really do there, so don't feel too bad about it, Sloth. Unfortunately, though, looking at Sloth's build, he only has 2 items online as compared to the 3.5 coming out from the enemy ADC of Mustuck.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we're going over to the net worth charts, and it's just spelling disaster for them at the time being. Again, another kill for Snow, but oh, excuse me, I'm about to sneeze here. 19,000 gold in the lead is Virginia Polytechnic over Jacksonville. And looking at the net worth charts, the lowest on Virginia Polytech is the Ares with almost 9,000 gold. The lowest on the enemy team, 5,700. 3,000 between the lowest of the team.
Snow, though, has fallen, but Badman is also down along with Night Flame. Woof! Is going to fall. The blink ult coming out from Waffle is not going to kill Iniquity just yet, but he's going to throw out that Berserker's Barrage just to end up dying. Trey 50 Daniel is trying his hardest not to fall. The purification beads are good to stop the sash, and Sloth is going to pick up the kill onto Waffle. All the while, Mustuck pushing that middle Phoenix. There's nothing here. The Sentinel of Zeus will not be enough, and the middle Phoenix has fallen.
Badman taken out and almost immediately by Kraken KO. Got the wrap ultimate off onto him. And, I mean, Death Gaze is living up to its name. Kraken looks at you and you just die.
Honestly, it's about as accurate as it can get. But the right side, Phoenix for Jacksonville is going to be pressured now by 2 people, 2 of the scariest people, might I add, on Virginia Polytech. This Phoenix is getting very low. It's about half health. The next wave is coming in. 3 people are here, almost 4 to defend it. But Mustuck, he realizes he's a little scared. Sloth might have his ultimate back up by now. He doesn't know. So he's kind of hanging back, making sure he doesn't get CC'd and doesn't get taken out.
Does need to be careful. No lifesteal in his build either, so all this damage he's taking, he can only heal back up by sitting under that hive, which is basically acting as a health potion for now. Kraken KO blinks under the tower there, and you know, I'm just gonna leave it at that.
I mean, that's all we need to be said. That's all that needs to be said. Next wave is coming. Mustuck trying to see if he can do any more damage to this Phoenix, but nobody else is here yet, as it apparently Waffle is just chilling in the base, and Wolf is going to be backing. I mean, nothing's really being taken. There's just pressure, constant pressure, being thrown out onto the right side, and Jacksonville can't even leave. In fact, Badman is going to get super low. Night Flame is going to take half of his health as well, and 2 people in Virginia are going to be forcing Jacksonville back to their fountain.
I mean, this is just Virginia Polytech with the sustain between these 2 gods. The hive for AMC, the lifesteal on Anubis. They're able to just stay here as long as they want and fight for as long as they want. Right side bird finally falls. Meanwhile, mid lane, Najah, piloted by Wolf, gonna be able to take out Badman. The ring bounce is not gonna be enough to get the first of the kills, and Waffle is just trying to run away. Purification beads, sash onto Iniquity, he's gonna chase him down, but Karastow's gonna pick up Trey 50. Musk is gonna turn to the back and take out Iniquity this time, and Waffle with the ring bounce gonna take out Badman.
There are still a few people alive on Virginia Polytech. In fact, all of them are, but they're all very low. In fact, Karasno is forced to back along with Waffle. Waffle falls. Mustduck is forced to leave, and he's the only one here to actually try to pressure in this Titan. It is at half health, and the only one alive right now on Jacksonville is Nightflame, who is going to jump in. The Titan is falling. Fire creeps are here, and I don't know if there's anything that can be done. These fire creeps are slowly doing damage, and the Titan is just barely going to live.
It's going to get a little bit of a reset thanks to the pressure that was brought in by Virginia Polytech. Going to get a little bit of that HP back, so it's not quite dead just yet. And the team of Jacksonville is respawning, so they're going to be able to stop these minions from pouring into their Titan room. On the opposite side, Virginia Polytech is going to start finishing up some of those items that they had and start maybe picking up into some new items. So we can see on the Muzen Cobb, lots and lots of damage.
That's kind of insane. He's almost full build. Just one more item will finish it up. As we do see the rallying ritual has been used onto the mid lane, onto Kraken KO, and we have some more teleporting coming out. Waffle is going to take Bad up into the air. The Titan is going to be able to buy Kraken KO, and that is going to be it. That's an Anubis. There was really nothing that could be done to stop Anubis from backdooring your Titan.
No, I mean, that's just what Anubis does. Drops the 3, drops the ult, and just lasers your Titan to death. I mean, that's really about it. The Laser Doge is here. The Laser Doge has won in our first appearance of Anubis. Virginia Polytech takes the clean 2-0. Well, I can't even say clean because they were playing a little bit sloppy that last game.
Well, the second game, they decided that they were good enough and they were far enough ahead where no matter what they did, there was no way that they could die. But as evidenced by the 3 deaths on Karasno, the 3 deaths on Waffle, and the 5 deaths on Wolf, if you move in and you get overzealous, you are going to die.
Only person to not die was Musk Duck, their ADC, piloting that Muzen Cobb for his first appearance here in the ABGL as well, at least as far as the stream goes. Muzen Cobb, he does damage. 21,000 this game, to be specific, more upwards to that 21,000. And with no question to it. I mean, look at the build he had going. Transcendence, had the Warrior Tabi, Kin Size, Fatalis for that extra penetration, and then Titan's Bane, and then going towards Frostbound?
That was Frostbound, yeah. He's going towards Frostbound.
Well, I mean, there's 3 hammers in that tree. You could go either way towards that, but
he was going
most likely
Frostalis.
Frostbound. Most likely the Frostalis. I mean,
you can't tell me otherwise. He was going Frostalis.
I can tell you otherwise. He was definitely going for the Jotun's Wrath with that last one.
All right, and with that, we're going to be cutting into a little bit of a break before we get into our next game, I believe.
Yeah,
and
we're going to be We got another game lined up before our next big scheduled one to kind of fill in the gaps for you guys. So we will be right back in just a moment with the next set of the evening.
surprise, we are back and instantly inside of a game right now. Georgia Tech Yellow versus Oklahoma State. I am Bryce LPs. With me here, I have J Mac Tucker, and you don't get to see the picks and bans.
No, you don't get to see the picks and bans, but I can already kind of imagine how they went with the rosters that have been picked up here. Georgia Tech Yellow with some familiar players from last season. Mongol Hunter, Loomside, and CJM going to be on the Georgia Tech Yellow team. Over on Oklahoma State University, it's the majority of the former OSU Gone team. Minotios, X-Man Alpha, and Fish Taco Bell. I believe Duotem was also with them, but for the most part, it's a semi-returning team matchup here.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen we've seen like most of these teams or most of these players, right?
Yeah,
on both teams.
Yeah, Loopside was the very famous Ratatasker that we had last season. Was
very famous,
very dangerous on this god, and it was the reason that they actually got to go to a game 3 in one of their sets that we streamed last season. I forgot who they were going up against, but that doesn't matter as much. As one thing that we're seeing different in this game is nobody's losing their speed buffs.
Well, yeah, nobody has lost their speed buff just yet, but this is Season 4, son. If nobody loses their speed buff, you're playing the game wrong. We have a Kabrak in jungle, and I'm so happy that we have Kabrak in jungle. What a hype god to see, because if he pops up in the mid lane, or the solo lane, or the dual lane with his blink, if you don't have quick enough reaction time, you are going to get stunned, walled, and all the like, and you are going to fall down, because Kabrakin, he's just big old Loki.
Oh, gank in the solo lane, not going to connect, as the Earthbreaker and Driving Strike did not make contact with Mongol. He's just going to be able to walk away from that one.
Yep. We do have we do have X-Man Alpha going to the solo lane against Mongol Hunter. Is not going to get the kill quite yet. Does get the stun, but Loomside, he's making his move. He's getting ready to hop over into that blue buff to see if he can make something happen, because we do have 2 people at half health. He is actually going to miss his acorns, and the blue buff is still under contention.
Yeah, Mongol Hunter going to rotate in this one because they have 2 players of much higher HP. They're going to try and take this one away. X-Men Alpha going to avoid the knock-up there. Is going to get the stun onto the camp, but the dash from Loonside is going to secure that blue buff for his team. So, while we didn't get a speed buff stolen away, we did get the first blue buff stolen.
And on the other side of the map, the Oracle Harpies did go to Georgia Tech Yellow, who are slowly building up a lead here with their objectives around the map. But Loomside is inside of this portal. X-Men Alpha is fighting him, but he has also gotten stunned by Thoth, and the first blood is going to go to Loomside after he gets stunned. Duotem is the next target being chased here by Loomside with a speed buff. If he gets close enough, he gets that stun. It has been confirmed. Pangy is long-range Thoth, but he's going to get knocked away by the title surge, so Duotem is actually going to get away from that just barely.
Loomside, a little too early to be diving that tower, smartly walks away after that title surge hits, and unfortunately, not quite enough from Pangy to be able to pick that one up.
That was hot, though. That title surge was clutch. If that didn't connect, Thoth would have gotten damage off for free, and that would have been a death for Duotem. Red buff gonna go to Pangy, maybe making sure he can get off just a little bit of easier wave clear, as Thoth not the most proficient in wave clear at early levels. Once he gets to that late game, though, it's gonna be hard for anybody to compete, because he has about 80 shots from his one that he can hit you with, and you don't want to be hit by any of them.
One thing I'm ready to see coming into the end game is going to be this Hu Yi and how CJM performs on him. Last season, he was not the best, but was able to get some pretty nice moments off there. And he's got a Sobek to back him up this time. He's going to be able to set up for the ricochets. In fact, the Suns are going to come down. Fish Taco Bell is going to be the one taking the majority of the damage from that. But Round is T is going to have to walk away from this one because he took a little too much poke from that fight.
He's actually chilling. He's just saying, all right, you know what? I can heal up. I'm a Sobek. I still got full mana. Don't want to back off yet. Don't want to leave my ADC here against 2 people, especially since the rotation is actually coming out now. I didn't realize that was from the enemy team. X-Men Alpha is coming over here. He might be able to catch out. The blink is here. The stun is going to come out on the Roundish T. It was very low. 1 hit, 1 shot. X-Men Alpha is going to pick it up as Duotem is going to get the Kraken from the pool. Duotem picks up the kill on the CJM, and 2 kills for Oklahoma State in the dual lane.
That's going to bring a little bit of favor back towards him and try and get X-Men Alpha back into this. He was slowly falling behind there, just procced into level 4 after getting that kill. Maybe he can start snowballing a little bit more now that he's gotten that early gold, especially since Loomside, we know. We here at the AVGL know how Loomside performs on this rat.
It's kind of scary. I don't like fighting him. Red buff, or not red buff, speed buff rather, is going to go the way of Loomside. Both of them, in fact, as X-Men Alpha is like looking around the jungle saying, hey, where's my speed buff? Loomside is going to dash onto him, get a little bit of damage, but the Whirlpool is going to be enough to deter. Meanwhile, we have a little bit of pressure being thrown out in the solo lane, enough to make sure that the blue buff goes to Georgia Tech Yellow instead of Oklahoma State.
Yeah, gonna be another blue buff stolen away. Going to be going in favor of Mongol Hunter for that one. And you can see that there is a ward over on that right-hand side is active for Oklahoma State. So they're going to allow Mianatos to be able to recognize any rotations coming from that top side at least. Mongol Hunter going to go ahead and dash back into the jungle, but at the Gold Fury,
X-Men Alpha actually is going to be the first one taken out even after the Capriole has been used. Fish Taco Bell gets landed on by CJM and the dash has come out and Eridar is very close to falling. Loomside walking up slowly. Duotem is going to be the next target as Mongol Hunter picks up a double kill into the support and mid lane of Oklahoma State. And this looks like it might be a Gold Fury attempt, but Minetos, or however you pronounce that name, is actually going to be standing there saying, hey, I got CC, I got a boulder, I'm going to try to stop this, but with 4 members of Georgia Tech Yellow pushing him out, he is going to say, nah, I'm gone.
Yeah, just going to be able
OSU
to
gone, by the way.
Going to be able to heal up there as we had a brief pause there for the moment. But was, no, okay, so we're officially going into a little bit of a pause now, possibly a DC on their side there, not quite sure who it will be, but...
Roundish T.
Roundish T.
It looks like he was the one to DC.
Okay, yeah, sitting back at the base at the moment. So while we're in this brief state of no action taking place, which is something rare here at the AVGL, is no action taking place. Let's go ahead and kind of take a look at the builds that have started up so far in this early stage of the game. As we can see, both of the supports going very similar routes. The Watcher's Gift into cooldown boots and likely going up into the Sovereignty next item. So what is the benefits of cooldown boots over the standard Talaria boots that we see out of the supports?
Well, Talaria Boost is intended to, make sure you can get around the map quickly, secure farm, secure yourself gold, and make sure that you don't fall too far behind as a support character, but as whoever. And as the game is unpausing, cooldown boots are actually going to be better here for Kepri, I imagine, because his ultimate is one of the main staples of his kit, allowing for him to revive anybody who he places it on, who has fallen, or who is about to fall, rather. And, I can see why I would pick up cooldown boots over Talaria boots in this situation.
Yeah, I mean, cooldown boots is going to give you that extra cooldown, obviously. To be able to get your abilities off more, it means more Kepri revives, it means more Sobek plucks. Really, those are the kinds of things that you want it to be there. Is I want my Kepri to revive me more often, especially with the longer cooldown that it now has, the 110 seconds at the start. It's a very long cooldown, and getting that cooldown early is going to allow you to get those off more often, and also allow you to pressure a little bit more in the duo lane.
Speaking of some pressure in the duo lane, we actually have Oklahoma State looking to see if they can steal any buffs. Unfortunately for them, nothing is going to be around, but in the solo lane, Mongol Hunter is going to be able to secure his blue buff. Mid lane action, Duotem actually is going to pick up Hangi, and Sobek is actually just going to be sitting there like, all right, I'm sorry, I'll try not to be in your way anymore, and he's going to go ahead and back.
Yeah, he realizes what could happen if he walks into that one and very smartly walks away. Meanwhile, Loomside is going to steal away the speed buff from Oklahoma State, try and get his snowball going on early and deny more farm to X-Men Alpha, as that has been the name of this game, is stop this bracket.
And X-Men Alpha is actually going to fall to Loomside hero. Duotem is actually not going to get hit by that pluck. Roundish T did not pick the right spot, but Duotem is going to get killed by Mongol Hunter at the same time that Menoidios is going to get killed by Loomside.
I believe it's Menodios. is the way to say that. Just
That's
take it
what I
away,
said.
Melodious. But 1v1 matchup in the dual lane. Fish Taco Bell getting the worst end of this one. CJM gonna take an acid spray to the face, and that's
I think
going
it's
to deter-
acid spray.
It is it? I don't know. How do you pronounce acid?
Anyways, the Harpies over by the Gold Fury. Actually, the Harpies aren't being started. The Gold Fury has accidentally been started by Roundish T, and he is not going to be able to confirm that Gold Fury, taking a little bit of damage, forced to back. Meanwhile, in the duo lane, Pengy has rotated over to see if he can pick anything up, as well as Loom side, but nothing's really going to happen. I expect that this purple buff might be stolen, red buff spawning soon as well, and the Oracle Harpies. So there's a lot to steal over in this jungle from Oklahoma State.
I thought Ardar was going to be able to take that one away with the Rising Dawn, but not going to be able to. Now going to try and secure his red buff. A little bit slow on that route. Not going to get it. Loomside's going to take the top side buff camps over on the left-hand side for his team to just kind of look at. Stun over the wall on the Duotem, but that's going to spell the end of that one for him.
That was a super tight stun. If Loomside was any closer, Pengy's stun would have resulted in death or at least some kind of relic usage from Duotem, which, as a Poseidon, your only movement option is your actual movement speed. So going against a Ratatosker and not having your purification up, it means you're basically going to die. But over in the duo side jungle, Duotem is going to have that Kepri ult on him after picking up the kill onto Sobek. Pengy sitting here waiting to see what ult he can get. He is going to get a double ult! Pick up Duotem in the process. X-Men Alpha is very low, not going to fall. Pengy has been turned into a stone. The suns are going to fall out, and Kepri is being chased. CJM with the Ricochet picks up the kill, and Aradar is going to fall. This is a free gold period.
Unfortunate for Kepri, had nowhere to go. His revive was already used on the side, not expecting the Kraken to kill Roundish T as quickly as it did. And as you mentioned, a free Gold Fury going the way of Georgia Tech Yellow. Looking at the graphs, they're currently sitting 6,000 gold and 8,000 experience in the lead. The big difference in experience is by far coming from that jungle, a 5-level deficit.
Which, honestly, it's just super understandable at this point. I don't know how many speed buffs have gone the way of Oklahoma State, but it's not going to be this one, as Loomside has stolen it. X-Men Alpha, yet again, is going to be losing his speed buff, which, as a Bracken, is so harmful. You want to be able to move in as fast as you can, pop your first ability, gain extra movement speed, get that stun, but once you lose that speed buff, you're just stuck. You're just there, alright guys, I'm swinging my arms, I can't catch you, please come back. And, stop stealing the speed buff, man. That's rude.
I mean, worse than just losing the buff in general, it's losing the experience that you get from that buff camp. And that's where the deficit's coming in, as Loomside has been soloing so many buff camps for himself, to where X-Man can't even rotate to get even shared experience from it. He can't even split it with his mid laner. He can't split it with his support. All he's doing is just straight up losing experience for not only him, but his team in general. And that's why there's such a huge deficit in the levels right now.
Duotem, Eridar, and X-Men Alpha are all going to be rotating over into the solo side, as Duotem is going to hit that Kraken on the Mongol Hunter, but the Kevriel has been used on the Duotem. The weight is good. Duotem is going to get meted in the backline. He is not going to fall quite yet, but Loomside is being CC'd. He picks up the kill, but he also gets shut down. Finally, 3 members of Georgia Tech Yellow still sitting here in this solo lane jungle, waiting to see if they can get anything else. Aradar has been plucked, but the dash is good, but not for long. He's being chased, and he is going to get away just barely.
Pengy just missing that stun, which could have possibly secured the kill there onto that Kepri. His revive was down. Mionatos is going to be able to round his G into the tower, and the root down in with the auto attack is going to secure the kill. Menodios is going to pick that one up.
Did you see how long that Roundish T wasn't able to move? Pluck, stuck in the air, driving strike, stunned, pulled, and he was stuck going backwards. Rooted, he wasn't able to move. Dude got a CC chained so hard, as Duotem is being chased in the backline by Mongol Hunter, who does pick up this kill. X-Men Alpha is going to go in. He does have a lot of damage, and he is going to pick up the kill. A level 9 picks up the kill into a level 15.
I mean, he was low, took a couple of tower shots, and this is Cabrakan with 2 penetration items online. Doesn't matter how many defenses you have, doesn't matter how far you think you are, Cabrakan does do damage. This is the return of the fat Loki. We're not going to see that supportive style Cabrakan. We're going to see the I want to kill everything Cabrakan.
Which is the best kind, honestly. Whenever you're playing support Cabrakan, you're just kind of there. You're hoping you get some decent CC, some decent walls. But Loomside is actually going to be jumped on by 3 people. He is not going to get CC'd for all too long, as he is a Rotatusker, and his dash goes about 8 years into the future.
I just panned over to the Oracle Harpies, which are being taken by Georgia Tech, and Roundish T used it to used his pluck to get a little bit closer, ended up throwing one of the Oracle Harpies almost towards the red buff, and Peggy just kind of looked at it like, dude, what are you doing? Get this away from me.
Good. And now, alright, I was hoping that there wouldn't be much fighting, but Mongol Hunter, you really need to get out of their jungle, as he's going to opt to not dash in onto X-Men Alpha and dash away, but Aradar is going to be the target. He is going to get stunned, slowed, and umbrellas are going to be thrown at him as well, immediately followed by the ultimate, and Loomside is going to be forced to back up, actually going to the air as Pengy gets the kill onto Duotem. X-Men Alpha has been landed on, and he is taking so much damage. Mongol Hunter picks up Aradar, Loomside picks up X-Men Alpha, and this is a scary situation for Minorio Itolois.
3 for nothing in that engagement. Georgia Tech Yellow walks away scot-free. A couple of ultimates used in that fight, but no harm, no foul, as they're now going for a very early Fire Giant, only 15 minutes in, and Menodios is still in the area, has that boulder online. 3 members very low at the time being. The lava that has come down, the suns are being dropped, as Menodios is going to try and get back into this one. CJM. Not going to take that one. Mongol Hunter is forced to run away as Fish Taco is on the chase. Heavenly Wing pop, but Peggy is going to get a great stun on the Taco Bell that may spell his doom. No, Roundish T may have in fact be the one to die here. Force to dash away.
No!
1 HP. Throw your gnaw passives in the air.
TJM is the only one to fall in the entire Fire Giant fight. So many people on Oklahoma State were low, and all of the kills, every single kill was dropped so hard. Now Fire Giant on 4 members of Georgia Tech Yellow with their lead is going to be rough, as Fish Taco Bell is blinked on. He is going to be jumped on with the ultimate from Loomside. Duotem and Fish Taco Bell are both options. Duotem will be the one picked, as the Kraken is going to come out. The stun is going to be good. Beads are going to come out for Loomside as X-Men Alpha is on the chase, but slowly is getting baited by the backing of Loomside. X-Men Alpha is going to be turned on and killed.
Mid lane, Aradar as well being poked out, forced to use that revive. It is going to go off. The pluck is going to miss from Roundish T, and instead he's going to get pushed into the tower. Pluck from Menodios is going to miss, but the stun from Thoth is strong, forcing out the Aegis Amulet from Fish Taco.
Meanwhile, solo lane, Mongol Hunter split pushing, making sure that people are going over there as he is showing presence, just so his team can pick up the Gold Fury yet again. Gold Fury going to fall very easily, going to go to Georgia Tech Yellow with no contention, rather, as Mongol Hunter, with no conventions actually. Mongol Hunter is going to be forced out, as there's a pretty decent sized rotation coming his way, as Duotem is here. He's only level 12, but he's going to see if he can get this Kraken online in time. X-Men Alpha here as well. Loomside is going to rotate over to see if he can help his team as well as Roundish T, but I don't know what's really going to happen. This fight's kind of all over the place.
Yeah, they're trying to focus on Aradar, but at the same time, the enemy team is focusing on Menodios, who's going to get thrown into the background. Blink from X-Men Alpha is going to land on the Loomside, but it's not really going to do a whole lot. Loomside taking about 1/3 of his HP from the damage of Cabrakan, but at this point, it's just not enough. Meanwhile, Mongol Hunter is going to try and push this tier 2 tower and is going to drop it. What seemed to be a potential bloodbath just ends up being a tier 2 tower.
Yeah, there was definitely some killing that was expected, but it didn't come to happen, surprisingly. Tier 2 tower, I mean, I guess that's your consolidation prize, or whatever people call it nowadays. I was going to say that there was going to be some action over in the dual lane, but honestly, Fish Taco Bell is just kind of sitting there, waiting under his tower. He does have the level deficit, and he is not going to be able to fight somebody like CGM at this level.
Yeah, realizes that he needs to play a little bit safer. Does have that Transcendence fully stacked up, so his major power spike is here. He has that Transcendence. That's the late game item that you want. Roundish T gonna be plugged backwards, just gonna be out of that tower there. But for the Hunters, I mean, we're in the meta of there's no one build, but we are here for one rotation. Loomside's gonna come crashing down, misses Fish Taco and X-Men, so instead it's just gonna be another tower taken.
This is a very different kind of setup that's coming out, as Fish Taco Bell is actually going to stun Pangy. Pangy falling very low is going to fall to Fish Taco Bell, as X-Men Alpha is not going to fall just yet. Loomside is the one getting low, as Menoidios has rotated over. Roundish T picks up the kill onto X-Men Alpha. A good ricochet, but not enough, as Roundish T picks up a second kill, throws out the shell, throws out the meditation, and Duotem is going to be forced into that Aegis. Menoidios is the one who is ulted. Roundish T with a triple kill. Can he get the penta?
Can the man get the penta? No, Menoidios is going to take him down, but in return, Mongol Hunter is going to pick up the enemy solo laner. I mean, the one true carry is obviously the support. I mean, they're the ones who are like, guys, what are you doing? Please just stop dying. Best way, I mean, we've always said this, the best support you could give your team is just to kill the enemy team.
There's nothing else I can say. That's it. If you kill the enemy team enough, you're a good support. Doesn't matter if your team claims KS or whatever. You are confirming the kill. You're securing it. You're making sure that your team is getting that kill to make sure they can go ahead. Now, the formation that Georgia Tech has been taking up, it has been a lot different from what we've seen from most teams who get a Fire Giant. Most teams, they get a Fire Giant, they back, they buy items, they recover health, and they get ready to all 5 push one lane, sometimes 4 and then 1 in the other lane. Usually your Hunter goes off by himself. But as we saw, it was usually a 3-1-1, 3-2 kind of group up around the map. And it's kind of interesting that it's been paying off, as Loomside actually is going to chill in the enemy jungle against 4 people and not even really take any damage from it.
No, just he's so far ahead at this point. It's a level 18 Ratatosker, and nobody on the enemy team is even close enough to him yet. Fish Taco Bell on the level 16 Medusa is about the only person who could even try and fight with him, but definitely not alone. Meanwhile, Portal Demon is being dropped by Georgia Tech Yellow, and I don't think anybody's going to be able to stop that one. And now they're going to turn their aggression over towards this Fire Giant. It's going to be able to take quite a bit of damage here as that lift is up. Unfortunately, CJ's not making use of it. Just Pangy going to be doing that one there. Fire Giant sitting under a quarter HP, and that's going to be going the way of Georgia Tech with the Thoth Ultimate to secure it.
Nobody on Oklahoma even tried to contest at that point. Duotem is actually going to throw out the Kraken on the Loomside. Loomside just barely going to be able to dash out of X-Men Alpha's Tremors, and 2 people are going to fall in the enemy jungle. Loomside going to go ahead and back, and the mid lane is now the target, as we have Fire Creeps rotating over into the left lane. Fish Taco Bell going to be the target of Roundish T. His ultimate is not going to connect. Aradar sitting under the sun is going to fall to Mongol Hunter. Roundish T very low. Shell has come out, and this middle Phoenix is very close to falling.
Not only that, Fish Taco Bell is close to falling. Make that Menoidios, as he's going to get stunned out and taken out by the hieroglyphic assault of Pangy as they make their rotation over to the right side. Phoenix, the final structure in their way. The Titans' last line of defense, as the protections and health are going to be shredded down even more. Roundish T trying to fight out 3, maybe trying to go for that second round penta. Instead, X-Men Alpha is going to pick up the first of the kills for his team.
With all 3 Phoenixes down at this point, the Titan is basically a sitting duck. Pangy going to try to throw some shots over the wall, but now he might be in a rough spot, as X-Men Alpha is actually going to opt to halt the chase. Duotem, though, going to take 90% of his HP from evade and punish?
Thoth Dash.
And, evade and punish.
Thoth
and, alright, whatever. And a couple of shots of Thoth's 1. Like, how do you do that?
I mean, I can't do that. Like, I wasn't trying to correct you. Like, that's just the power of the Thoth Dash. Evade and Punish is such a powerful thing, and he is leveling it over the Glyph of Pain. Something we don't see super often, but it's not something that you can just, like, go, oh my gosh, what are you doing? You can't level that. Max rank. This does 230 base plus 60%. When you throw it in with the Glyph of Pain, it's getting an extra 10% magical power added onto it. I mean, this ability is going to start chunking in the late stages. Speaking of chunking, he's going to take a chunk out of that red buff and walk away with it, as X-Men was just trying to get experience.
Georgia Tech also going to go ahead and secure that Gold Fury for no cost whatsoever to them. Left side, Phoenix for Oklahoma State is starting to, it's getting ready there to pop up, but the grouping from Georgia Tech Yellow shows that they do not want to allow this to stay up for too long, as Roundish T has jumped into the backline against Duotem and Fish Taco Bell. Duotem has been jumped on. The revive is good, but not for long as the Suns have come out. Pangy going to be the one to pick up that kill, as Ardar is the next one to fall to CJM. Fish Taco Bell gets a two-man stun to Bees of Force on the CJM, and Loomside, as Menoidios is going to be the last one left on his team. CJM with a double kill. Loomside picks up the last kill. Deicide is going to make this game go to Georgia Tech Yellow.
Georgia Tech Yellow, 24 minutes and a 32-11 slash line is going to give them the commanding victory this time. And honestly, Loomside wasn't necessarily the shining player of that. While we have seen Loomside be the hard carry, this time got to have a little bit of help from his mid laner, Pangy, on that thought, providing quite a bit of damage on that thought, as he is topping the damage charts for his team, 19,500.
You know, it's only 20,000. It's just a little bit of damage, you know. It's not that much.
No,
but overall, Pangy, he did a lot of damage, even if he didn't have the same slash line that Mongol Hunter and Loomside had. He was the one that was throwing out the damage. Mongol Hunter and Loomside are the ones who get in, confirm those kills, make sure that nobody gets away, and as evidenced by Oklahoma State's defeat, it was going that way. So we're going to go ahead and get into the next game here in just a minute. So we will take a short break, and we'll be back in just a bit.
touch so familiar deep inside, like you were already mine. Surreal to me, how you make me feel wild and calm at the same time. Never felt so alive. Thought I was crazy until I reached out and saw your hand there waiting for mine, like the stars had all aligned. I lay beside today, tonight, your vibe, desire, our eyes on fire, and I breathe your aura, cannot leave your aura. Like gravity, you don't have to try it, it's just like a magnet. You have me like gravity. You have me like gravity. You have me like gravity. You just like it's like it's just like a magnet. Hard to keep a straight face when I'm burning like fire, and you walk all the sides. I'm drawn in desire, and you have to think twice. It's hard to keep smiling when I try to set things straight. You don't even listen. I'm just getting late, like you're on a mission. Drawn in desire, and you have to think twice. You make me weak. You're the one I seek, and I hate that I love you. I hate that I love you. If I could, and I would, carve out your heart, carve out your heart, and I reincarnate it, and I reincarnate it. It's hard to keep smiling when you're closing every door. I'm trying to open. I tell you love you more, and you say it's broken. You make me weak. You're the one I seek, and I hate that I love you. I hate that I love you. If I could, and I would, carve out your heart, carve out your heart. closing every door. I'm trying to open. I tell you love you more, and you say it's broken.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Game 2 of Oklahoma State versus Georgia Tech Yellow. I am Bryce LPs, and with me here, I have J Muck Tacker.
Yeah, wow, that's a throwback name for me. I mean,
True.
No, well, you're right. True does say that. That's pretty much the only way he talks to me. Anyways.
All right, anyways, looking at this game, we got some interesting teams here, and honestly, I'm surprised that Panky was allowed to get Thoth again.
Yeah, Pengy was allowed to get Thoth, but Loomside was not allowed to get his Ratatosker. We'll see how he's going to perform on the Hunbats this time. In a brief pause here, as Roundish T is trying to
Roundish T.
I mean, he's Roundish, he's T, but he's not here because of DC.
Okay, I see. I heard the rhyme before it happened. What the heck? Do you see the pings?
Yo,
They're just painting the map.
Yo, can we paint the map in pings? I'm loving this. We're getting blue dots everywhere as
All right,
people are trying. Let's pretend that every one of those pings is where a ward is going to be placed.
Let's not, and let's look at the builds real quick and analyze if anything special is happening. Taking a brief glance over them, it looks like fairly standard stuff. No Bumba's Mask coming out onto either of the mid laners. I guess that's not, too strange. It's kind of a 50-50 chance at this point that a mid laner will pick up that Bumba's Mask.
Yeah, I guess you could say it's 50-50. I mean, they're going to pick it up or they're not. So, Bumba's Mask really is more for those really easy clear mid laners. Those ones who can clear a camp very quickly in the early stages. Gods like Poseidon, someone like a Giannis or an Agni. They can clear them off very quickly as they have a lot of very early damage. Nuwa and Thoth, not really the epitome of the early damage gods. And so they're going to opt away from picking that one up. Bluestone, however, has been picked up on both sides by the Hunters because of their innate ability to deal damage with abilities.
Yep. As the game unpauses, the one thing to take note of, Menoidios against Mongol Hunter has opted to go solo back instead of going Hercules, which actually was picked up by Mongol Hunter, whose wave clear will more than likely be incredibly superior to a Sobek, who has very difficult times. The mid lane has been pushed out by Georgia Tech Yellow very quickly, which means that Loomside is going to be able to steal away this speed buff.
Well, speed buff invades are back, boys. Not only that, potential blue buff invades, but Oklahoma State has spotted this out and are going to be able to deter Georgia Tech from taking away this blue buff. Instead, they're going to go make their way up towards those gremlins, and the blue buff will be secured by Oklahoma.
One thing that I didn't notice that I probably should have is Duotem is not playing Poseidon, but he is playing Nuwa, as Mongol Hunter is going to get the solo kill on to Menoidios on that Hercules. A very simple god to get the solo kill with. You have a couple things you can do, and if you do one of those things just right and the enemy doesn't make any good plays happen, you're probably going to die no matter what god you're playing.
I mean, you hit 2, you hit 1, and that's a lot of guaranteed damage there for the Hercules. Going to be able to do almost more than enough. And the Bluestone, the Bluestone pendant on Hercules, this is something that up until this season was just staple. You always picked up Bluestone pendant on Hercules. You did the most damage with it. Now there's the option of going into the market of Vanguard. We've seen that usually up against other warriors, ones like Tyr, who have a lot of abilities to hit you with. Osiris, as he does have those massive amount of in-hands, but opted this time to go for the Bluestone pendant just for the pure damage over the damage mitigation.
One thing I can respect coming out here from Mongol Hunter is he has decided to not go into any relics as of yet. Being in the solo lane means that if you're planning on getting teleport, you don't have to get the relic immediately, as you can, back, get the relic, and you'll still have it. It's not like anything has changed in the matchup, and if he opted to go anything else, it's not really going to help him too much against a Sobek. Maybe if he went Sunder or something of the like, but Mongol Hunter is Hercules. He doesn't really need help.
I mean, Sunder has been the standard pickup for most solo lane Hercules at this point, opting not to need that teleport and instead just go for the hard damage.
As there was a little awkward rewind or fast forward there on my end, I Didn't know what was happening. Thought I hit stasis. Was super scared. As we do see, Aradar is going to say, "Oh, hey guys, what's up? I'm Ymir. I'm here to defend my tower." And immediately sees 3 people standing in that little corridor. Says, "Okay, sorry, bye bye." He's going to go ahead and make his way over to the soul lane, see if he can help up Minoidios, and make sure that he doesn't get too far behind. Going against a Hercules is rough enough as it is as a god who doesn't have great wave clear, and if Hercules gets too far ahead, he will snowball.
Ooh, the taunt is actually going to keep Ardar from being able to try and steal those gremlins away. Instead, it's going to be plucked back into 3, but X-Men Alpha has shown face. 2-man freeze, but the purification is going to allow Loomside to continue the chase. Wall's not going to be enough, and Pengi over the wall!
The one guy we didn't expect to get the kill out of all 3 of those people is going to be the one to pick it up as Mongol Hunter picks up X-Men Alpha on that Ratatosker. The 3 deaths right now for Oklahoma State means that they're going to start falling behind ever so slowly again in the early game as we saw last game. This time, though, they're going to need to try to make some kind of comeback or be in a better position, unlike Minoidios is right now.
Minoidios going to possibly get picked up here. Solane Sobek's not going to be able to get away from this one. Actually, no, he's gone.
No, he's gone.
He's gone. It was a little awkward for me there
Same,
at the moment, so I wasn't able to quite tell until he was already gone. Blue buff gonna be stolen away by Georgia Tech Yellow, and over on the left-hand side, Aradar is just trying to get a little bit of farm. Look to maybe take down CJM, but it's a 3-level deficit, and there's no ultimate for this Ymir just yet.
You know what I can always appreciate? A good old Uller in the Hunter role. Uller has he has probably the most skill shots out of almost any god in the game, and if you are rewarded very heavily for connecting your skill shots. You hit that X, you're guaranteed 2 abilities. You hit your 1, you're guaranteed 1 billion damage. And against a Medusa, if he can confirm that damage before she can get her ultimate off on him, he might be benefiting very well. But Fish Taco Bell is actually going to be the one winning this 1v1. CGM forced to back away as Pengi picks up X-Men Alpha in the mid lane.
Oh, so close to hitting that Evade and Punish as well, which could have potentially spelled death for Duotem, or at least forced him to back sooner than he would have needed to. Maybe would have forced him to back the quickest way possible, which was death. But going to be able to get away from that one. Duotem forced to use that ultimate very early in the team fight, but it's working out a full rotation. Fish Taco Bell, you're getting baited. CJM was just the bait. Loomside gonna get stunned out, but not before Pengi is gonna pick up the kill onto Fish Taco Bell. 3 rotated over, and we're able to pick up that kill, and are now looking to take their own red buff here as well.
Ardar just threw Fish Taco Bell under the bus. He saw the rotation and said, "Oh," and backed away as he is going to try to get this kill onto CJM, but Roundish T is still there. You can't just walk away from Roundish T on Athena. He has taunts, he has slows, he has some damage in his kit, but Duotem is going to rotate over as well as X-Men Alpha, who is going to pick up the first kill for his team onto CJM.
Yeah, and Roundish T forced to run away as now 3 members are trying to chase him down. 2 autos are good. The taunt's gonna miss, but the stun from the Invade and Punish is going to connect onto X-Man.
Yep, but we do have a full retreat coming out here. It looks like nobody's probably going to fall as the Heavenly Wings have been popped. Fish Taco Bell catches Roundish T out right in front of his tier 1 tower. These Oracle Harpies are going to fall, but right next to them, how's that Gold Fury looking, Chu?
It's looking golden and furious, but unlike diamonds, gold is not forever.
Thanks, Chu. Very insightful words coming out from our very own commissioner of the AVGL. Gold Fury, golden, furious, but not forever.
Yeah, and Gold Fury will live for the time being, as Georgia Tech's not going to aggress into it. Those Oracle Harpies, only one of them was taken just to make sure that they can't get that free vision on that side. I respect that decision to only take one of them and walk away from it, but over in the mid lane, not going to walk away for the time being. Duotem is going to get that stun with the clay minions. Pengi being chased by X-Man Alpha, and Roundish T is going to make his way out just because the ultimate is enough.
Yeah, he was kind of just sitting there awkwardly like, please hurry up. Please get me out of here. I don't want to die. But Roundish T is going to try to dash in on a Duotem, who is going to get the stun, immediately get counter stun, and Pangy is going to pick up the kill. Immediately the taunt does come out on X-Men Alpha, who is taking a nice chunk of damage. The overhand smash will be enough to finish it, as Roundish T does have Lurking in the Water sending under him. The dash is up, and the damage is not enough. Oh my goodness, the tail whip has missed, but Loomside is going to go ahead and abandon his support. Menoidios will pick that kill up and get slowed, but nothing else aside from that is going to happen, except for Oradar falling.
Yeah, it's going to be a 3-for-1 exchange in favor of Georgia Tech. The only one to fall was the support Roundish T, but support first, support mid, and jungle is definitely worth it in that case. Looking in the solo lane, Mongol Hunter up with a 2-to-1, and Menoidios just going to miss that pluck.
Yeah, he didn't miss the pluck, he just didn't hit the right guy. He hit the pluck. He just didn't hit who he was looking to pick, as CJM is being chased down by Duotem, and then Fish Taco Bell has come in. He's very fast, is going to get the acid spray. CJM, though, says, hello, here's my axe. The slow turnaround from Fish Taco Bell, and CJM is going to be able to walk away from this one. Roundish T has shown up, is going to get frozen, but even more players are coming to the party.
The taunt is going to connect eventually, and because of that, Loomside has just enough. The great wall by Oradar may, for the time, save his life, but the Sacred Monkey is better. The Fear No Evil over the top. Fish Taco Bell going to run away. Oradar going to pay for his troubles, and meanwhile, Duotem is going to take out Pangy. The clay minions have not been detonated just yet. Duotem trying to find a line to it, but that looks like it will finally be a disengage from Georgia Tech.
CJM has returned. X-Man Alpha is 2 levels under him, is going to run away, not try to fight. Now, unfortunately there, Fish Taco Bell got away from Georgia Tech Yellow. Whenever the ultimate was thrown out from Loomside, he opted to go into Oradar instead. He said, this target is being pushed the correct way. It is not under tower. I'm going to go for the safe kill. But Fish Taco Bell was probably the more necessary person to kill. Somebody who, if you take them out, will be affected in a much greater way.
Especially since they're opting to go into this Transcendence. Both Hunters going this route. Medusa going to be doing quite a bit of damage with it, but will mostly benefit CJM as 4 technically do damage, but 3 abilities for the way of that combo. Loomside gonna pick up Menoidios over in the solo lane. The boulder was just there to say, hey, you dead.
Yeah, I mean, it was there. I'm not sure why it came out after Menoidios was killed, but the solo lane tower is being pressured very hard by 2 very strong hitting hunters with 3 people rotating over. The Athena ultimate coming out. Loomside is going to be forced to use his beads. The wall is good. Oradar is chasing the tower. Hasn't fallen quite yet. It is going to fall. Mongol Hunter is going to just go ahead and try to get away with his support, Roundish T. Actually throwing up the top, but not much is happening. A little bit of an awkward fight with... Actually, Loomside is going to come back in. X-Men Alpha gets burned instantaneously. Oradar is now the target. Duotem has those creeps. He is going to get the stun, and Oradar, I don't know if he's going to really die here. He's just chilling.
Nah, he's not going to die for now. Roundish T going to be able to juke out the pluck from Menoidios and the ice carpet from Oradar. Roundish T putting on them juke boots, running around in circles. Round, the Athena goes. Pluck is going to be good onto Oradar to keep Roundish T alive for just a little bit longer, but the tables have turned, and now Mongol is the one being looked at as he's actually just going to walk away towards his buff.
Did you see those jukes, though?
Them juke boots.
Meanwhile, Pangy is going to go ahead and rotate over to the dual lane, pick up the kill onto Fish Taco Bell, and this is almost going to be a guaranteed tower with 2 people rotating over. If the creeps are fast enough, this dual lane tower will fall. 2 people, though, coming over. CGM in a little bit of trouble.
And X-Men Alpha does have that ultimate still online. If he so chooses to, could rotate over to CJM. Taunt's going to be good, and is actually going to use the reach to steal away the Oracle Harpy.
Wow.
Use the Heavenly Wings just to give a little bit of extra movement speed. It is going to be stunned by the Amir Freeze. Gold Fury has been aggroed, and CJM is now being the target of aggression. X-Men Alpha going up in the street, gonna crash down, but this Pengy picks up Ardar in the back, and now Duo Tip is gonna be the next one to fall.
Gonna make you pay.
The crit was so good, X-Men Alpha picks up CJM, but he is not going to be able to make it out, as Evade and Punish is going to be the punishment that X-Men Alpha deserves. The Gold Fury is going to be started up, and as our commissioner has stated before, the Gold Fury is not forever. Georgia Tech takes it down. Even more of a lead is being built, and Georgia Tech is running away with this game.
8,800 gold, 10,000 experience in the lead is Georgia Tech. Yellow right now. Loomside gonna find some more blood over in the left-hand side. Fish Taco Bell takes his third spill of the game. Solo Tower was being aggressed on by Menodios, but was not able to do anything as he's merely a Sobek in the early stages of the game.
Well, the red buff is going to be confirmed over here by Loomside, although Roundish T is just going to steal away these back camps from X-Men Alpha, who is sitting right there. He can't even opt to move in, though, as we do see Pengy! What is this god? Pengy on Thoth is doing so much damage as Mongol Hunter is picking up X-Men Alpha in his own jungle. The speed buff is going to be the insult that is added to the injury of death. Georgia Tech Yellow is starting to build experience games like no other.
That was so unfortunate for X-Men Alpha as he tried to run away from the situation, but Mongol stepped in front of the dash, and to follow up was the taunt by Roundish T. It's going to spell the 6th death for this Ratatosker right now. Loomside, normally the one that we see on this rat, but this time his Hoonbots isn't doing too bad.
Yeah, true. I believe it. His Hoonbots is actually doing some mad work, as Portal Demon is going to be taken out. A direct access route straight to the Fire Giant for about a minute has been confirmed, and the Fire Giant is going to be started. That's usually the follow-up that we see, and nobody on Oklahoma State even sees it. In fact, we have somebody backing. Menoidios is going to just head away from it. Fire Giant absolutely free, confirmed. Georgia Tech Yellow 5 members have the Fire Giant.
Duo Tip's gonna find out the hard way as he's forced into the air. X-Men Alpha also forced up into the sky. The Bluestone is not gonna be enough to take him down as he gets away with barely 50 HP. Mongol Hunter gets a huge amount of HP back just from the mitigate wounds, and Aradar is going to be the second one to fall.
Duotem is the target for the taunt right now. Purification Beats has been popped. The blink has come out from Mongol Hunter, as well as the double driving strike. Duotem is going to fall to the crit. Lurking in the waters is going to be just barely enough to get Menoidios out of there, but CJM gets sniped! Gets sniped!
Not the easiest ability to hit, but CJM says, I don't care, I'm an Uller, takes out Menodios from the back line. X-Men, the only one alive to try and defend this Phoenix, as it is surely to fall to Georgia Tech and make their way over to the solo lane to take out the last tower in the game for their side. Oh, nope, never mind. There's the one on the left-hand side. Get a little overzealous there.
Yeah, this tier 2 tower over in the solo lane side is going to fall, nevertheless, and it looks like Georgia Tech Yellow is going to opt for their players that are low to back to base, heal up. They still have the Fire Giant for quite a long time, and they're just going to go ahead. I imagine they're going to head down the dual lane and take out that last tier 2 and then start trying to work on these Phoenixes.
Yeah, probably going to try and do that. I mean, when you have the Fire Giant, the best objectives to take out are the ones on the opposite side of the map. Tier 2 tower is the last one standing for Oklahoma State, and honestly, they just need to give up the tower and maybe fight at the Phoenix. They don't have a strong enough defense at that point, but if they can force the enemy to try and fight under their Phoenix, might work out better for them. Duo Tem takes half of his HP from the shield wall. As Roundish T is now being aggressed on by 3. Make that potentially 4. Menodios doesn't matter. Pengy from the back makes his way in. X-Men Alpha's gonna fall to Loom's side, and Roundish T is gonna get stunned out by Ardar, but that's just going to spell R&R's doom.
Ardar's trying to get away, but Duotem, Duotem's just gonna die. He was trying to come back in, man. You gotta chill. And it looks like Georgia Tech Yellow is just going straight for the Titan. Menoidios, the last one alive. Half health, forced to back. The Athena ult is coming out. Titan is at half health, and this game is ready to go straight to Georgia Tech. Yellow Manorios is not going to be able to pull off this defense. Georgia Tech is going to take the set.
Menodios tried to make his way into that last fight, but unfortunately got zoned out and was forced to just run away. Georgia Tech, Pangy, I should say, coming up big in that last fight.
Woo!
Lands a long-range ult to get his first kill, followed up by the unofficial triple kill. Pangy has been on a tear this set.
Can we talk about this god? Can we talk about how Pangy destroyed last game on this god? And then this game, he's just going... He just got it again. But we're going to go ahead and call that... That's all we're going to say about this game. And my co-commentator is not going to say anything.
Oh, I didn't know where you were going with that. You just said that's all we're going to say about this game. Anyways, we're going to be wrapping up this game, and we'll be back with you guys in just a brief moment. So please stick around and listen to some beautiful music.
But it wouldn't mend mine.
Can we get some blame Jithens in the chat, please? We were taking it to a short break because the scoreboard was actually wrong on the screen. Georgia Tech did end up taking both of those games. Was not shown like that on screen, so we apologize for that. Georgia Tech takes those games, and that was the last set of the night.
Yeah, that's going to be all for us here at the AVGL for tonight. We had other plans for streams, but, you know, crazy things happen, but we did get to see some fun games. We got to see some returning stars from last season. We got to see Loomside come back with a new mid laner on his side, Pangy, doing work in that last game. And Loomside, while not on his Ratatosker that he was so famous for that last game, still did a fairly strong job on that Hoon bots. But like we said, that's going to be it for the evening. From all of us here at the AVGL, we thank that you came out. We'd like to give a shout out to our beautiful people here, Bryce and myself, casting for you tonight. Chu, our beautiful admin who does all of the back end work.
He's the commissioner now. Hey,
the commissioner.
You get that right.
Commissioner.
You get that right.
I stand horribly corrected. He is the commissioner. He has earned that title. And most respectfully, I mean, he is a god among men. Then we have our productions guy, Jithens. Blame Jithens. Will be a thing from now on. Remember how I said yesterday how you do a job, Jithens? I leave it at that. You do a job. No, we love you, Jithens. You're a great guy. You do a lot of work for us here at the AVGL as well. But none of this would be possible without the one, the only, Victor.
We're not talking about the crocodile from Sonic.
No,
we're talking about Victor, the man.
The myth.
So thank you guys for watching. Also, shout outs to Extreme, who was being the stream manager tonight. Props to him for doing that. So we'd like to just thank you all for watching, and we will be back on Saturday, I believe. Right, Jetpack?
Yes. Yep,
Saturday. We will be back.
5 p.m. Eastern.
5 p.m. Oh yeah, we'll be back Saturday, 5 p.m. Make sure you check it out then. So we will see you guys later. Arbor is now the target. Duotem has those creeps. He is going to get the stun, and Ardar, I don't know if he's going to really die here. He's just chilling.
Nah, he's not going to die for now. Roundish T going to be able to juke out the pluck from Monodios and the ice carpet from Ardar. Roundish T putting on them juke boots, running around in circles. Round, the Athena goes. Pluck is going to be good onto Ardar to keep Roundish T alive for just a little bit longer, but the tables have turned, and now Mongol is the one being looked at